So the reason why for so many of us it seems to be so hard to make a real meaningful change in our life that we actually get traction with, that is actually effective, and that is actually permanent is because we focus, I think, too much on trying to white knuckle our way to the change through simple, sheer brute force and action without ever addressing the underlying fundamental of the self-identity. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to sit on your couch and visualize your way to a different self-identity without ever taking action and get a change. Both are required, but just like we have two legs for walking, if you're down one leg, it's going to be a whole lot harder. Are you with me? So, for example, I've got a Canon M50 or whatever camera with a shotgun microphone, etc., editing software for videos. I have all kinds of gadgets and gizmos and lens filters and all kinds of things that I bought over a period of a year, year and a half of I'm going to start my YouTube channel one day. I'm going to start my YouTube channel. I spend hours and hours and tens of hours watching all kinds of videos from YouTube content creators about how to create YouTube content, right? Thumbnails, titles, how to get a high click-through rate, how to start with a hook, how to get engagement, posting frequency, optimal video length, tags, etc., etc., etc. I took studious, copious notes, right? But in that time of when I started collecting YouTube gear and studying YouTube content creators that teach how to do YouTube, which started about 4 years ago, in that time, do you know how many videos I published on YouTube? 0. Now that I'm posting videos and I said, screw it, let's just do it. There's no such thing as perfect. That's just the process. Do you know what I'm shooting my phones on? Do you know what I'm shooting my videos on? My iPhone. I mean, the first 30 plus videos that I shot on here, I didn't even have a little shotgun lapel, a little lapel microphone. Now I've got a little wireless lapel microphone. The camera is sitting right there, the expensive one. I'll get to it. I've got all kinds of equipment. But right now, for the last 30 plus videos, I've been shooting on an iPhone. That's it. No editing. Just talking to the camera and post. What am I driving at? I am building the identity first of just somebody who actually creates and posts content. You with me? See, there's this topic I talk about a lot, that is, we get mentally obese with all the information that we acquire through books, podcasts, YouTube videos, courses, blogs, and so forth. And it gives us the illusion of thinking that we know something, but we don't. Head knowledge is not knowing. It's not congruence. Knowing, you only know something when you actually have begun to apply it. You are living it, right? You're congruent with it. And so your self-identity matches it, and it matches your self-identity. This is why we have so many people who are so smart, have so much head knowledge, but have absolutely no results in their life to show for it. Maybe you know somebody like that. Somebody really close to home. And it breeds a lot of frustration, bitterness, anger, resentment, self-loathing. Why? Because you see all this potential, but you don't see and experience the results. The gap, the big gap missing so often, in my experience, personally, for me, looking back at how many times I've been like the children of Israel, circling the desert for 40 years, metaphorically, never entering my promised land. Is this mental masturbation over acquiring information, over acquiring the little things I think I'll need, without ever actually doing the dang deed. Ralph Waldo Emerson, he who does the thing shall have the power. You with me? If you want to be a YouTube creator or have an impact on people through creating content and using YouTube to do it like I am now, the first step is not trying to figure out how to create the brilliant video, how to go viral, your hooks, your content frameworks, your engagement metrics, your click-through none of that. It's, if you actually have something to say, turn on the bloody camera that you have now on your phone and put that video up on YouTube, and then do it again and do it again and do it again and so forth. The same thing applies with people who want to get into like physical fitness or running. Oh, I need this workout clothes, and I need to research this kind of water cup, or I need to know about these supplements, and I need to know about, these kinds of running shoes, and I need to have these kind. Just start running. Just start running. The same thing goes for starting a business and making money, right? Starting some sort of a business or a side hustle or whatever it might be. Okay, I got to go learn all the content on all of it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Just start, take the action, whatever it is. You'll learn, let's say you want to do a marketing agency or something like that. Like I own a marketing agency, right? That's one of my businesses. And I'll tell you right now, you'll learn more from picking up the phone and cold calling 100 local small businesses and asking them if you can help them with lead generation or marketing than you will from reading a book. Then what you do is you read a book after you've started taking action. Because now what happens is that when you read the marketing and sales books, when you listen to the podcasts, when you watch the videos, when you look at potential courses or programs to invest in, you are able to look at them and absorb them through the lens of somebody who's taking action. So what happens is that you're able to immediately transfer head knowledge into knowing, getting a grip, getting traction, instead of just constantly mentally spinning your wheels with mental masturbation of acquiring information, fantasizing, calling it visualization, and then never really getting anywhere. You see what I'm saying? You want to make an impact on millions of people around the world with great content that helps them to elevate themselves and their lives? Start posting content. And along the way now, as I read books or watch videos about creating content, now I have something to apply it to because I'm actually taking action, right? Got a couple of thousand subscribers now and got about 40 videos up. Not even a fart in the wind in the grand scheme of things compared to, big creators and big content creators, but 2,000 plus subscribers and 40 videos is enough to where now I've taken enough action that I've built the identity of somebody that creates and posts content Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You with me? So now taking action on the next thing that I learn about thumbnails or titles or whatever, I'm not going to have the self-doubt and the resistance that you typically will have if you're not taking action at all. Therefore, you're completely impotent because it's just head knowledge, but no knowing. You with me? Same thing with like figuring out workout gear or running shoes or supplements or techniques or whatever. Just start running. Just start going to the gym. Stick with that for 12 weeks, 3 months. Then, so that you build up the identity of, I'm somebody who takes their fitness seriously. I'm somebody that goes to the gym. Right? You want to do a digital marketing agency. Okay. Go help 2-3 local businesses get more business without even charging. Offer it for free in exchange for a written endorsement and a video testimonial that you can then use to go get paying clients. Just go take action. I want to be a independently wealthy investor someday. Okay, start by putting $50 in the stock market every week. Andre, $50 a week ain't gonna do shit. You're right, it won't. But you'll never be an independently wealthy investor if you don't start at square one. You can't get to square two without starting at square one, let alone 3, 4, 5, 6, 100, 7,000. What does putting $50 in the stock market every week do? It builds the self-identity of somebody who is an investor. Are you with me? When we think about the outcomes we want to create in our life, when we think about the goals, they are often, if you're like me and like most people that I know, they are often very big goals, fun, exciting goals, which is good, but also the bigger they are, the bigger of a gap there is between where you're at today and where that goal is. And the bigger that gap is, the bigger of a shift and an evolution and an elevation it's going to require in who you need to become and how you need to transform your self-identity to become the person who has that outcome. And if you don't become that person who matches that outcome, you will never have the outcome. Are you with me? This is also why lottery winners become broke and have high suicide rates, is because they lucked into something that their self-identity was not congruent with, so they had to snap back to their true self-identity. This is why people join fitness challenges, lose a bunch of weight, and then gain it all back plus more, because the level of fitness they achieved was simply through a white-knuckled, forced will effort, but it didn't match their true self-identity. But when you start first by addressing simply building the self-identity of, I am somebody who consistently works out, whatever that looks like. I am someone who puts $50 into the stock market every week as a beginning investor, right? I am somebody who helps local businesses get more business by simply helping somebody for free. I am somebody who is making an impact on people's lives with content by posting videos I record on my phone with no edits to YouTube. You build a self-identity first, because now, as the cliche goes, it's easier to steer a moving vehicle than a still one. And now that you actually are taking action, I am telling you, you will learn so much more from taking action than just sitting around and acquiring head knowledge, because it's all theory. Bonus 2 is when you're taking action and then acquiring information through books, podcasts, blogs, videos, courses, you'll be able to very quickly suss out what actually applies to you and what's useful to you and what you can completely discard, disregard, and never worry about because you know that doesn't apply to you at all. So it makes everything faster. It's a virtuous cycle of elevation. Whereas if you never take action, you're just mentally obese and you're constantly in a prison of frustration, feeling impotent because you're not doing anything. You with me? It's like the difference between reading about sex versus having sex. It's the difference between watching somebody ride a bike versus getting on and practicing riding the bike. You dig? So, go build the baby steps, step one, square one, self-identity that it could grow into becoming and matching the outcome that you want. AKA, you want to be a multi-million-dollar investor someday? Start with $50 in the stock market per week right now. Because if you can't do that, you ain't going to do millions of dollars. Andre, you want to impact millions of people around the world with YouTube by putting out epic, transformational, educational content that helps people to elevate their lives and live fearless, empowered lives? Great. Well, then how about you turn on your iPhone and record some content that can help people and post it out there? And don't worry about whether you get likes, or it goes viral, or you get views, because that's you being selfish and thinking about from your perspective of your ego instead of generally thinking from the perspective of helping people. See how that works? The self-identity comes first. And once you get that dialed in through baby steps, square one, square two, square three, that's where the acceleration starts to happen. And that's where you start to transfer head knowledge and information and learning into results faster, faster, and faster, and faster. But you got to build the identity first.